Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back now to the nation's sharpest opinion. So in the Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi has got pulled up really, really badly. The Supreme Court has said, how can you say that the Chinese have taken away 2,000 square kilometers of our territory? And the exact words of the Supreme Court are, how do you know about 2,000 square kilometers being annexed by the Chinese? Were you there? The court asked Rahul Gandhi. Do you have any credible material? The court asked Rahul Gandhi. Why do you make any of these comments without any proof? But most importantly, then the court says to Rahul Gandhi, and this is the highest court of the country, says to Rahul Gandhi, if you were a true Indian, you would not say all this. And how completely we agree with the court out there. How can he be a true Indian when he says that he believes India was never a nation? When he says India is not a nation, how can he be a true Indian, ladies and gentlemen? Rahul Gandhi's approach is simple. Repeat a lie 1,000 times and hope that it will become the truth. Repeat it again and again and hope at one point of time the lie repeated 1,000 times will become the truth. And that is why I'll give you 3 occasions here when he's lied about Indian land being taken over by the Chinese. August 20th, 2023, September 11, 2024, and April 3rd, 2025. The lie the Supreme Court called out today, here are those lies. 3 clips to prove that he said it and can't go back on it now.
If you call having Chinese troops in 4,000 square kilometers of our territory handling something well, then maybe. We've got Chinese troops occupying land the size of Delhi in Ladakh. I think that's a disaster. Media doesn't like to write about it.
यहाँ पे तो सब लोग कह रहे हैं कि चाइना की सेना घुसी है और इनकी जो पहले जो ग्रेजिंग लैंड होती थी वो ले गए हैं, वहाँ ये जा नहीं सकते हैं. तो यहाँ तो क्लियरली सब लोग कह रहे हैं. प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा 1 इंच जमीन नहीं गई, मगर वो सच नहीं है.
4,000 किलोमीटर चाइना ने ले लिए हैं और हमारे फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी उनके एम्बेसडर के साथ केक काट रहे हैं. It is pretty clear that the Chinese have entered our territory. I'm not going to lie. I simply will not do it. I don't mind if my whole career goes to hell.
Now, it is simply clear, ladies and gentlemen, that not in one of those 4 occasions did he have a credible source. In fact, all he says is, I have heard. Someone's told me. And depending on how impressionable he thinks the other side is, he repeats the lie. The Supreme Court asked him today, what proof did you have? And there was not one single source, credible source that his lawyer could quote in the Supreme Court. Doesn't that expose him? Now, viewers, Rahul Gandhi also goes on to say many things which hurt us. He says the Indian army is losing with the Chinese. He repeats that point. He says, and he uses some reprehensible words out there. The Indian army, ladies and gentlemen, has been fighting the Chinese. I'll show you the visuals. Show the visuals full frame, ladies and gentlemen. The Indian army has foiled several attempts by the Chinese to intrude across the border. At least 20 PLA soldiers were injured in the clash that took place in the Nakula area of North Sikkim in January 2021. On June 15, 2020, 20 Indian soldiers and an unspecified number of Chinese troops died in a clash in the Galwan Valley. We took on the Chinese. We took on the Chinese soldier for soldier, and that nighttime skirmish is something which will remain forever a nightmare. A nightmare, ladies and gentlemen, for the Chinese. And this is the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that we fought back the Chinese. Rahul Gandhi's fakery, you see these visuals, how bravely we are hitting them back, pushing them back. We're not using guns, we're not violating the rules, but we are pushing back the Chinese every minute. And yet Rahul Gandhi says that our soldiers are losing. And the Chinese, according to him, ladies and gentlemen, have taken over our territory. How unfair, Rahul Gandhi, can you be to all those who fight on our behalf? But he will not explain a lot of other things, viewers, while he does that. For example, he will not explain why he met while our soldiers are fighting on the border. Next. He will not explain why he met the Chinese envoy to India, Luo Zhahui, on June 8, 2017, in the middle of the Indo-China standoff in Doklam. He won't explain that. There's Priyanka Vadra, there's Rahul Vadra, Robert Vadra. They won't explain that. They won't even explain what happened on 7th August 2008, when for some unspecified reason, with Sonia Gandhi looking over him and Xi Jinping looking over him, he was made to sign an agreement in the pretext of going to Beijing for the Olympics inaugural ceremony. But the real reason was this, a secret deal. He will not explain till now. But I really wonder whether these are the reasons why he has to constantly abuse his country. For example, on 20th June 2020, he released a video saying our army is shastrahin, he said. That was on 20th June 2020. He said, we have no arms to fight the Chinese. But when we did hit back the Pakistanis, between 6th and 10th of May 2025, remember the visuals of Rahul Gandhi when he did come out. First, he did not speak out. When he came out, he and the Congress leaders looked like that. They looked ashen. They looked worried. We were celebrating everywhere. Look at his face. Look at Mallikarjun Kharge's face. Look at Rajiv Shukla's face. Look at Sachin Pilot's face. Look at Randeep Surjewala's face. Look at Tariq Anwar's face. They all look at Venugopal's face. They look so sad. They seem to be almost grieving when we were hitting the Pakistanis. Why, Rahul Gandhi, were you sad when we were hitting the Pakistanis? Which, ladies and gentlemen, brings me back to the main point. Rahul Gandhi's philosophy is this: repeat a lie 1,000 times and it will become the truth. But no, Rahul Gandhi, now you are exposed. Now the people of the country catch you the moment you lie. Like the Supreme Court caught you today. Like your lawyer had no answer. When told by the Supreme Court, why do you talk like this? If you were a true Indian, you would not speak against our national interests like this. Recently, another lie of Rahul Gandhi was when he claimed that the late Arun Jaitley, former law minister, was sent by the government to threaten him over the opposition's pushback against the farm laws. First, I will play his lie where he describes a meeting between him and Arun Jaitley, with Arun Jaitley saying, don't oppose the farm laws, and he's saying, I will. Let's listen to this bite and then I'll tell you the lie.
When I was fighting the farm laws, and he's not here anymore, so really I shouldn't say it, but I will. And Arun Jaitley ji was sent to me to threaten me. And he said, you know, if you carry on down this path, opposing the government, fighting us on the farm laws, we will have to act against you. I looked at him and said, I don't think you know who you're talking to.
I looked at Arun Jaitley and said, I don't know who you think you are talking to. Only Arun Jaitley was unfortunately no more at the time that he described. So who was he talking to? Such a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, Arun Jaitley passed away in 2019. The entire political fight over the farm laws happened in 2020. 1 year after Arun Jaitley passed away. It is unbelievable. The war over the farm laws happened in the end of 2020, very end of 2020, and the first 4 months of 2021. But this man says that Arun Jaitley was threatening me, but Arun Jaitley wasn't even there in this world when this happened, most unfortunately. And his son, Rohan Jaitley, had to counter Rahul Gandhi. He put out a tweet. He said, Rahul Gandhi claims my late father threatened him over the farm laws. Let me remind him, my father passed away in 2019. The farm laws were introduced in 2020. The farm laws had not been introduced. So Rahul Gandhi is caught there making it up. Absolutely lying. Like he said when he went to the United States, Rahul Gandhi said, the fight in India is about whether a Sikh can wear a turban, whether a Sikh can wear a kada. Ladies and gentlemen, that evening I said I wear a kada, and I have proudly worn a kada for 40 years now, 40 years. But Rahul Gandhi does not know that there are lakhs of Sikhs in India. Many of them families of victims who were killed by the Congress party leaders during the riots against the Sikhs. They're all wearing turbans, they're all wearing the kada. So he's become a habitual liar. And then they think they can threaten people. Ladies and gentlemen, the worst is when he accused the government recently, the most recent lie of Rahul Gandhi, of sharing details with the Pakistanis, saying, Mr. Pakistanis, I'm going to shoot you here, I'm going to shoot you there. There you see a picture, ladies and gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi meeting the whole Pakistan lobby, Ilhan Omar and the Pakistan lobby, on his trip to the United States, which he did not explain why he meets the Chinese, why he meets the Pakistan lobby. I wonder if that is the reason why he is making false allegations against the government about the government tipping off Pakistan about the terrorist attack and telling them, we're going to hit the BrahMos here, you better watch out. But this shoot and scoot approach does not work, and Jaishankar properly pulled him up in Parliament. When he put the records on the table during the recent debate in Parliament, Rahul Gandhi did not have the courage to listen. Viewers, I just want to hear the bite of Jaishankar when he countered Rahul Gandhi. Please hear this.
There are China gurus now. One, sir, is honorable member sitting across me. Whose affection for China is so great, sir, उन्होंने एक संधि बना ली थी China और India की, Chindia. I did not get China teaching by going to Olympics. किसी ने मुझे बुलाया नहीं, sir. I was not a special person. तो कुछ लोग जो हैं उनका चाइना ज्ञान जो है ओलंपिक्स जाने से हुआ। अब सर कभी-कभी अब सर जब ओलंपिक्स में गए किनसे मिले और क्या हस्ताक्षर किया उसकी तो बात ही नहीं करते। तो जब आज बात करते हैं सर कि चाइना पाकिस्तान नजदीक आ गया है सर, हमें पता है, हकीकत है, हम इसके साथ डील करते, पर ये कहना कि ये अचानक हो गया और मैं चेतावनी दे रहा हूं और किसी को पता नहीं है, साहब आप हिस्ट्री क्लास में सो रहे थे।
Now, Rahul Gandhi's approach essentially is public abuse and private apology. He will abuse publicly, he will accuse publicly, then he will privately apologize. He will privately try to send his lawyers to work out some kind of a deal. In 2014, he did this. During an election rally, he said the RSS killed Mahatma Gandhi. Initially, he kept saying, I will not apologize, I will not apologize. He refused to retract his statement. But because his policy is that of public abuse and private apology, he changed his stance after the Supreme Court criticized him for collective denunciations and required him to face trial. Then he immediately put out an apology. But that was a private apology. Similarly, while attacking the government over the Rafale deal, he claimed that the Supreme Court had endorsed his slogan, Chaukidar Chor Hai, ladies and gentlemen. Alleging corruption by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said Supreme Court ne kaha hai ki Chaukidar Chor hai. Eventually, he went up and apologized for saying so. He had to issue an unconditional apology, admitting that his statement was made unintentionally and inadvertently. So again, second example I am giving of his public abuse, public accusation, and quiet legal private apology. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a man. He's about 56 years old. He has complete disregard for facts. And he has a clear, what I call a shoot and scoot approach. These are the two things he has: complete disregard for facts and a shoot and scoot approach. If he didn't, like he goes around daring everyone else, I dare Rahul Gandhi, ladies and gentlemen, to put an affidavit in the Supreme Court countering what the Supreme Court has said today. No, he meekly accepted the stay so that he won't have to go to jail, the stay on the case. And tomorrow he'll privately apologize for this. The court has said today a true Indian would not speak like Rahul Gandhi. Have you ever seen a leader of the opposition being pulled up, or any senior politician being pulled up in the way Rahul Gandhi has been pulled up for the lie he's repeated 1,000 times? And then he says, if you ask him, what were your facts? Why doesn't Abhishek Manu Singhvi put an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying these are the 4 facts on the basis of which I stick to my claim? Let him have a press conference tomorrow saying that these are the reasons why I will counter the Supreme Court. But he won't. He will accept. He will accept the reprimand of the Supreme Court, and unfortunately, I think, as is his past trend, go back to his next lie. We need to be very watchful, shouldn't we, after what the court has said today. Please pass this video so that the truth reaches every Indian, so that it's never a case of a lie repeated 1,000 times ever being seen as the truth.
Chinese army captured 2,000 square kilometers of Indian territory. Chinese thrashed our Jawans in Arunachal Pradesh. This is what the leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi said to media. The matter was heard in the Supreme Court of India, and the top court asked Rahul Gandhi, how did he know that 2,000 kilometers being annexed by the Chinese? Was he there? Does he have any credible evidence? Why doesn't he raise issues in parliament instead of social media?
संवैधानिक संस्था सर्वोच्च न्यायालय राहुल गांधी की भारतीयता पे इतना गंभीर कमेंट करता है, हर देशवासी आहत है। एक भारतीय अपनी सेना के लिए जो पूरे विश्व में सबसे वीर है, कैसे कह सकता है कि वो चीनी सेना से पिट रही है?
Rahul Gandhi and his baseless claims have a long history. This certainly is not the first time he has made some wild assertions. On August 1st, Rahul Gandhi leveled serious allegations of vote theft against the Election Commission. But when the EC asked for evidence, he did not respond. EC clarified that Rahul never ever submitted an official complaint in this regard. During the ongoing monsoon session, Rahul Gandhi claimed that Arun Jaitley was sent to threaten him over the opposition's pushback against the farm laws. He was fact-checked by Jaitley's son, Rohan Jaitley, that the farm laws were introduced in 2020, a year after the demise of Arun Jaitley.
Remember when I was fighting the farm laws, and he's not here anymore, so really I shouldn't say it, but I will. And Arun Jaitley ji was sent to me to threaten me. And he said, you know, if you carry on down this path, opposing the government, fighting us on the farm laws, we will have to act against it.
If my memory is correct, the farmer bills came in around 2020 June. Unfortunately, my father had passed away in August of 19. So effectively in 19 there was not a whisper of the farmer bills. In 20 the farmer bills came by. They went to the cabinet. They were up for grabs in the parliament, debate, etc.
Just recently, when Rahul was confronted with Trump's comment on Indian economy, he toed Trump's line, made a remark on Indian economy followed by a smirk.
Trump is saying Indian economy is a dead economy.
Yes, he's right. I mean, everybody knows this, except the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy.
हम अपने राष्ट्रीय हितों को सुरक्षित करने और आगे बढ़ाने के लिए सभी आवश्यक कदम उठाएंगे। मात्र एक दशक से भी कम समय में भारत फ्रैजाइल 5 अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में से निकलकर दुनिया की सबसे तेजी से बढ़ती प्रमुख अर्थव्यवस्था बन गया है।
A leader of opposition who was forced to apologize for his comments.
So we have been making appeal to Sri Rahul Gandhi not to make such kind of unsubstantiated statement. But he doesn't listen to us. I'm very happy that at least Supreme Court has now given him a warning. It's a straightforward rebuke that as an Indian, Sri Rahul Gandhi should not speak like that. This is a very strong statement. How can an Indian speak against the interests of India?
And yet, the same Rahul Gandhi who goes on and on to make big claims does not speak up when asked about the secret MOU with China.
कई प्रेस वार्ताओं में हमने दिखाई है, ये तस्वीर है, पार्टी टू पार्टी MOU करते हैं राहुल गांधी चीन की पार्टी से, और इसीलिए चाहे डोकलाम हो चाहे गलवान हो, हर भारतीय भारत के साथ खड़ा था, भारत की वीर सेना के साथ खड़ा था, और राहुल गांधी कह रहे थे हमारी वीर भारतीय सेना चीनी सेना से पिट गई है। यह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
At this point, despite multiple fact checks, Rahul Gandhi still makes statements leaving one to wonder. Is no one proofreading Rahul's scripts?
So the Supreme Court catches Rahul Gandhi lying, and the Rahul Gandhi then immediately ducks it, and there is no response, there is no counter. So they realize they've been caught lying, and they don't want to escalate this matter because the Supreme Court has really pulled up Rahul Gandhi and said that if you are a true Indian, you would not talk like this. How do you know about 2,000 or 4,000 or any kilometers of land being occupied by the Chinese? Then the Supreme Court says after that, were you there to, do you have any credible material? Which means the court is giving the option that if you have any credible material, present the credible material. And if you don't have the credible material, the court goes on to say very serious points by the Supreme Court of India. Why do you make these statements without any proof? If you were a true Indian, you would not say all of this. Now look at those words, they're stinging. If you were a true Indian, you would not say all this. And Rahul Gandhi immediately remains quiet. He's happy that he's got a stay in the case. All he wants is a stay in the criminal defamation case. There is no heroism. There is no attempt by his lawyer to say, no, I will not accept the stay. I will battle this on. Abhishek Manu Singhvi accepts the stay. Justice Datta tears Rahul Gandhi apart. He says, why do you have to say these kind of things without credible information in social media posts? And Rahul Gandhi is quiet. This is such a stinging indictment. For a person who goes and makes all kinds of claims, this is being caught lying red-handed by the Supreme Court of India, not by a television show. Though we catch him lying many times, but this is Supreme Court of India, right? Two-judge bench, including Justice Dipankar Datta. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting serious. Ashwini Kumar of the Congress, why lie? And when lies have been caught, maybe an apology, saying that, yes, we have been pulled up by the court, we respect the court, and we'll not lie like this once again. After all, you're lying on an important matter. Ashwini, first chance to you.
Arnab, why lie? I think you're also a liar and a propaganda journalist who's spreading the misinformation about the land acquisition bill Rahul mentioned in the context of Arun Jaitley. And not there's the only farm laws was not the 2020 laws. There has been multiple other farm laws in the past, and he was mentioning that. So I just pointed that out.
Sorry, but are you a fool? Are you a fool not to understand the difference? 1 minute. Just I pause you there. See, no, pause you there. No, pause you there. 1 minute. I'll pause you. I'll take him on nicely, Shazia. 1 minute. See, there are only two options about you, Ashwini of the Congress. Either you are a fool, a certified fool, or you're pretending to be a certified fool. Because only a fool, and I hope you're not a fool, will not know the difference between the land acquisition bill, the controversy around which happened. 1 minute, I'm not calling you a fool. The controversy around the land acquisition bill happened in the winter of 2014 and the early part of 2015. 5 years later, there was another controversy, 5.5 years later, over the farm laws. 5.5 years gap. Land acquisition is different from farm laws. Rahul Gandhi spoke about farm laws. Don't be a fool, Ashwini. Don't be a fool and don't pretend to be a fool.
Related to farms, and that is what he mentioned. Anyway, coming back to the Supreme
No, why coming away? Now you want to run away? Are you a fool? Were you a fool? Were you being foolish? Why did you say that? Now I caught you lying once again. Like your leader, you're a liar. Now you're a liar, and you're a liar who's also been certified to be a fool on my program. I'm not calling you to be a fool, but you're being very foolish. People will think you're a fool. People will think you're a fool. Are you a fool? Or are you simply ignorant?
Towards Rahul Gandhi since
no, I'm asking you, land acquisition bill and farm laws are two different things. Are two different things. Don't you understand anything? Shazia, he does not understand the difference between land acquisition laws and farm bill. I give up on you, man. I mean, you're worse than I thought.
What do you expect? I mean, it's Ashwini, I feel sorry for you. I wish you'd come with a better lie.
Don't feel
this
sorry
one just shows you in very poor light. And I don't blame you because, you know, only liars can defend other liars.
No.
But this has gone all too far. We all know which farm laws Rahul Gandhi was talking about. Farm laws, and these are the expression and words that Rahul Gandhi used is very different from land acquisition bill. So do not fool anybody. We know fool. Now let's go to so Rahul Gandhi has been called out too many times, and you know, obviously he's pretty shameless and he's crossed the limits of brazenness at this point of time. So, now Supreme Court has to come in and call out his lies. Be quiet, Ashwini. Ashwini, you've exposed yourself. You've exposed your ignorance, your foolishness. I don't know what to call it. I feel sorry for you. That's all I can say. You know, and I don't want to run you down because there's. I wouldn't want to do that. I would like to do that only to an equal. So I wouldn't like to do that to you at all. So please be quiet and let me say what I want to say. So my point is that Supreme Court has to call out Rahul Gandhi's lies. And Supreme Court has to say, if Rahul Gandhi were a true Indian, he would have never made statements about the Indian army. Now, can you imagine a indictment, moral indictment, more devastating?
Asking Rahul Gandhi's
to be quiet. He's exposed himself. I don't want to do it like this. You speak, sir. You speak, I'll speak after you.
No, you don't
have any manners.
Yeah, you're not.
No, you don't have any information. You don't have any facts. You don't have any facts. You don't have any intelligence. Okay, you also don't have manners.
You have the bite on that.
Carry on. No, I can't. I want to speak. Arnab, can I come in, please? Arnab, I really want to speak.
Yeah.
Can you ask this man to just be quiet for a minute and not expose himself any further? Okay, Ashwini ji, with your permission, can I say this? So this is not a legal reprimand. This is the most devastating kind of the worst kind of indictment, moral and ethical, that the Supreme Court can make on Rahul Gandhi. And I don't know how Rahul Gandhi should react. But the question is something else. This question is that this man is a serial offender. He runs down our army. He runs down our armed forces. He runs down the judiciary. He runs down the parliament. Now, why? So he ceases to be opposition. He resorts to subversion. My question is different, Arnab. My question, not to you and to everyone else, is why should we as Indians have somebody as a leader of opposition in our Indian parliament who is the spokesperson of CCP or the Chinese Communist Party or Pakistan? My problem is a bigger one. Supreme Court feels and finds Rahul Gandhi's statements not just irresponsible, but anti-India and anti-Indian. Now, why should we Indians put up with an LOP in a parliament who totally lies and he gets caught out and is shameless and works for the Communist Party and amplifies the Chinese Beijing's mouthpiece and the propaganda machine and works for Pakistan.
Can I come in because the BJP spokesperson right now.
Nikhil, just a minute. Just a minute, Nikhil. I'm going to Anmol first. I'm going to Anmol first.
Anmol, the leader of opposition, as anti-Indian. This is a grossly misappropriate remark to make. It is very not befitting the stature of the fact that she's the spokesperson of the ruling party.
Okay, so you're saying, the argument being made here, Anmol, just a minute. is that Rahul Gandhi is leader of the opposition and that the Supreme Court is nobody to call out his lies. Anmol.
Who made that argument?
That
Who
is
made
exactly
that
what you said. You said he's a...
I said that the Supreme Court has never said that Rahul Gandhi is anti-India. Anti-India was the word used by the BJP spokesperson. Tell her to please prove it on your show. In which oral comment of the court, in which judgment of the court, in which order of the court was it ever said that the leader of opposition is anti-India or Rahul Gandhi is anti-India?
Rahul Gandhi is a
Madam, you are indulging in contempt of
Communist Party of China.
You are
Rahul Gandhi
attributing to the
is
court what the court has
anti-Indian.
not
Rahul
said.
Gandhi
You
is
are
an
trying to
anti-national.
hurt the majesty
That's who
of the
Rahul
court.
Gandhi is.
The exact words of the Supreme Court this evening are on the screen. Can we play those? The words of the Supreme Court are a very well thought out words. And while granting interim relief, the bench, which comprises of very senior judges, Justice Dipankar Datta, very respected earlier with the Bombay High Court, and Justice A.G. Masih, they made very strong oral remarks expressing disapproval of what Gandhi has been saying, Rahul Gandhi has been saying. They said, why do you talk like this? What proof do you have? What credible material do you have? Now, the lawyer's response is, I'm sort of making a larger point, but the larger point is also on a serious issue. The larger point is about the territory of India. And you cannot make a casual comment about the territory of India. And the court then says, why do you make these statements like this? Do you have any credible material? Were you there? How do you know? And there is no response to all of that. And then the court says, Anmol, the court says, Anmol, 1 minute, the court says, 1 minute, the court says, please, the court says that if you were a true Indian, you would not say this. A true Indian will not play around with the sovereignty and territory of the country. That is the context of what the court has said. I think you must respect the court.
What are we even talking about?
Anmol,
China
please.
is encroaching upon our territory.
Now you'll attack the courts. Now see, they'll attack the courts.
I am not attacking the courts. I am not attacking the courts. I'm simply saying that is it not his job as the leader of opposition to be raising issues when a foreign country encroaches upon our land, kills our soldiers?
Yeah, but you need to have some concrete material and facts on the basis of which you talk. You don't have materials or facts, then you should keep quiet.
Did 34 soldiers not die in Galwan? Did 34 soldiers not die in Galwan?
Now I ask you this.
Have we not lost
I ask you this. 1 minute.
Have we not lost patrolling rights at the LAC near Ladakh?
No. You don't know.
Did skirmishes not happen near Doklam?
No.
Has China not set up villages and military establishments?
Will you stop trying to do a nursery rhyme like that? You're an immature fellow and it's reflecting.
Mocking yourself. You're a mockery.
Okay,
You're a joke. You realize that's not mockery.
I ask
some self-respect,
the screen, ladies and gentlemen, and I will only talk over this. On the one side, Indian soldiers fighting, on the other side, these people lunching and signing. And if you want the truth, I will hammer you a little bit, Nikhil, and you just be quiet. Don't worry about it. Enjoy it. The Indian army, you say, did we fight the Chinese? We did fight the Chinese. We have fought the Chinese. We will continue to fight the Chinese. If they try to intrude, they will continue to try to intrude. They tried to intrude in Sikkim, right? 20 PLA soldiers were injured in that clash. It took place in the Nakala area of North Sikkim, 20th January 2021. You should be proud. You should be proud. You should be proud of what I... Keep quiet, volume down. You should be proud of how we hammered them. But your leader said, hum pit rahe the. So don't... Your leader is a liar when he talks like that. On 15th of June, 20 Indian soldiers, they claim died, but an unspecified number of Chinese troops also died in Galwan. Yes, we fought. Yes, our soldiers were martyred. We also killed a lot of Chinese, and I'm proud of the fact that nighttime skirmish, the way we fought the Chinese and pushed them back, will be written in the history books, and I'm proud of my soldiers. But your leader says, hamare soldiers pit rahe the. 1 minute. So don't do this fakery here. Okay? Don't try this fakery out here, Nikhil. Okay? You tell me, why did your leader meet Lao Zahui? Why did your leader meet Lao Zahui for a Chinese lunch in a 5-star hotel on July 8th during Doklam? Why did your leader meet Luo Zahui? The Chinese ambassador, Chinese envoy, why did he meet Luo Zahui while our soldiers were fighting in Doklam? Why?
How does it matter?
Nothing to say now. Anmol, he's got nothing to say now. Anmol, now he'll shake his head, huh? Now you shake your head. Okay, Anmol is on the debate. Anmol.
Good evening, Arnabji. Arnabji, time and again, senior Congress leaders have made statements about military that are not just factually inaccurate, but they are deeply demoralizing. During Operation Sindoor, we saw that instead of standing with our brave soldiers, with our army, the Congress leaders were saying कि भाई ये छुटपुट war है, कि कोई war तो हुआ ही नहीं, only 3-4 planes have crossed over. And now even the Supreme Court has made very strong oral observations, openly criticizing such political
He doesn't defend
statements
Rahul.
that
Change the
insult the
top
armed
man.
forces.
He doesn't defend Rahul. Change the top man. Put it on the other window. Put the top man. 1 minute. Change the windows.
Aam Aadmi Party is now fighting Congress in Punjab. So you see the flip-flop even in the mood. So true to your nature, true to your chameleon nature, you're speaking.
Okay, let him complete. Let him complete.
From Indian soil.
Let him complete. Let him complete. Let Anmol complete.
Parroted by Rahul Gandhi.
See, every time Congress opens its mouth, the BJP slaps slowly. Why? Because they make absurd statements, and that gives BJP the chance to dodge the real accountability. The whole nation has been asking. The whole nation has been asking Shazia ji कि अमेरिका के दबाव में क्यों आपने ceasefire declare किया? But not a single answer from any of your leaders. That's why BJP and Congress are the Laila and Majnu of the modern politics.
This is a plan for Punjab, right?
Laila और Majnu
this is a latest. This is a latest slogan for Punjab, right? Where you're fighting Congress.
Let me complete, Shazia ji. Arnab ji, interestingly, today most of the media houses. For the first time, today, Arnabji, most of the media houses, for the first time, are considering the observations made by the Honorable Supreme Court very seriously, and that's a very good thing. Supreme Court में उनका विश्वास जगा बहुत अच्छी बात है, because when the same court in the so-called liquor scam said that there's no evidence that not a single rupee has been recovered and ED and CBI are functioning like
Supreme Court never said that.
This media
How much
didn't
do you
take
lie?
it seriously then.
Oh my God.
Your leaders are continuing to face cases. They're out on bail. Your leaders are continuing to face the cases. The investigation is on. They're out on bail.
At that time also, very serious observations were made by the Honorable Supreme Court. उस समय तो आपने नहीं कहा, आपको उस समय भी कहना चाहिए था। आज आपने कहा अच्छी बात है, लेकिन आपको उस समय भी कहना चाहिए था, सभी मीडिया हाउसेस को कहना चाहिए था। And today in a significant development, the Honorable Court has given a clean sheet to Satendra Jain ji in the so-called PWD hiring scam.
देश की बात कर रहे हैं, हम देश की बात कर रहे हैं, ऐसे एलओपी की बात कर रहे हैं जो हमारे भारत के पार्लियामेंट में बाकायदा भारतीय सेना का मजाक उड़ाता है, अपमान करता है, हम उसकी बात कर रहे हैं। भाई साहब, आपकी शराब वाले मसले हमारे अभी प्लेट पर नहीं है, सुन लीजिए। Supreme Court has slammed Rahul. You and Rahul Gandhi's party were together doing all the jhappi puppies. We all saw what happened. Now you're fighting Aam Aadmi Party is fighting Congress in Punjab because clearly political expediency and opportunism, and we're seeing some of that on TV. So Anmol, you have zero credibility. It doesn't work. Why do we have an LOP in Indian Parliament who speaks for China?
There must be a respect for the process out here. We are in a strange situation where Congress party says, 1 minute. I'll tell you. One minute. Just 1 minute, Anmol. The Congress party's approach now.
Shut case. There's an open and shut case out
1 minute,
there,
sir.
Still you
1 minute.
No action.
Anmol, see. Anmol, the Congress party is becoming what the Aam Aadmi Party used to be, an anarchist party. Now you are trying to change. They are going back to what you were. My point is, I'll give 4 examples. Ashwini, volume down. I'll have to explain this. See, you don't believe in the election commission. You abuse and attack the election commission every day. Every day. Ashwini, first keep quiet, otherwise I will not anchor. Please keep. Thank you so much. First, you abuse the election commission. You question the election commission. You say it has no credibility. You abuse it every day. 1. Second, you abuse the media of the country every single day because they expose National Herald, they expose Bofors. You don't like them, they expose Robert Vadra's land deals. So you don't like them, you abuse the media also every day. Volume down. Let me complete. I didn't speak over you, so Anmol, no. Then, thirdly, you abuse the army. You say the army chief is a sarak ka gunda. You use these kind of comments. on a daily basis. Then you say, "Hamari sena pit rahi hai." You said that. These are words which you use. You should not use these words. You can say we used other words on other occasions, but you did use the words which I am describing. Fourthly, so you don't believe the army, you don't believe the media, you don't believe the election commission, and now you don't believe the Supreme Court. You don't let Parliament function, and you don't believe the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court is saying that you are uttering falsehoods. Harish, you got to have some balance here, Harish, right? Patabik Ram Komareddy of the TDP versus Harish, who's pro-DMK usually, but Patabi first. Mr. Komareddy.
Yeah, Arnab, without mincing any words, I can straight away say that Rahul Gandhi is the most anti-national citizen living in this country. Either his citizenship has to be revoked, or he himself should surrender his citizenship voluntarily and take citizenship of China or Pakistan. That is how anti-national he is. The kind of comments he is making. The Congress leaders should be ashamed today, instead of defending Rahul, after listening to the comments of the Honorable Justice, who clearly had said, if you are a true Indian, you would not have said this. The Congress leaders should be ashamed after listening to these comments. And this is not something new for the Gandhi family, Arnab. Today, Rahul Gandhi is talking about Indian army being shastraheen. Shastraheen, using the word shastraheen. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, your grandfather during the Indo-China war, forget about giving them woolen clothes. He didn't even give them proper boots to wear. The Indian Jawans died of frost bites. And today you talk about Indian army being shastraheen. On one hand, you didn't give our army proper boots. And on the other hand, Arnab, when China was occupying Tibet, this shameless family under Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, it had supplied 3,500 tons of rice to feed the Chinese army when it was occupying Tibet. That is the kind of love this family has towards China. So better Rahul Gandhi surrender his citizenship here and take Chinese citizenship. And not only that, Arnab, Mr. Nehru, when India had an opportunity to get a membership in the UN Security Council, he favored China over our country. He was responsible during the early 50s, 1950s. India had a great opportunity to become a permanent member in the UN Security Council, but he favored China. So that is the kind of love the entire Gandhi family has towards China. So I strongly feel that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, aap chhod do, Indian citizenship chhod do, and take citizenship of China and live happily in Beijing or wherever you want.
Now the point here is this particular point here, Harish, it's unforgivable. What the court has pointed out is that there is an absence of credible material on the basis of which you're making a claim that 4,000 square kilometers of our territory has been taken over. Now, you do know that there is a certain element of responsibility, a basic minimum amount of responsibility a leader must have. But the worrisome part is that Rahul Gandhi didn't just say this in India. He went to the United States of America and he repeated it. The court said that why would you do so? Right? If you're a public figure, if you're going to be quoted, if you go to America and you utter this, if the courts are saying today, what is your credible material? Credible material meaning it can't be hearsay. You can't say someone told me. Someone was grazing his yaks out there and he told me. It has to be more detailed than that, right? Now, do you agree or not that there was an absence of a credible source in any of the statements that he made on
let me. I have got through all your 45 minutes of your entire speech, and I have got all the nuances and everything. So coming to the facts here, Mr. the TDP speaker, I want to make sure if someone's anti-national, if someone has to, citizenship should be revoked, it should be done to Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, because he was the one who has been formulating the entire. One second, I haven't interrupted. Have some civility.
How can you compare my leader, who
I haven't interrupted you.
Who is working for,
putting a
across
the
this country and the state,
and making sure to form a party, form an alliance against Modi.
Are you defending
what stand he has made sure? So don't speak all these kind of rubbish things. First of all, have some civil decency in a debate. I haven't interrupted you. I haven't interrupted you.
Okay, Patabi, let him complete his point. They'll counter after that.
Have some civil decency in a public decorum. Please have
Don't compare.
And number two, Mr. Coming to Arnab, if that has to be divided, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi have stated the fact based on the 2020 Galwan Valley, whatever the clash which has happened, and made sure to lose our soldiers with due respect and with due gratitude to our men in uniform. We don't have to have any kind of say which is against the government, is not going to take in as an anti-national. If that is going to be the purview, then we want to make sure the court has to lie down on the constitution books. It doesn't have to take the entire notion of an LOP who's making a political comment to be attributed to an
Harish, can I come in on this, please, for a moment?
One second.
Can I come in for a moment? Shazia on the left, but I'll 1 minute. No, you must allow me a counter when it is relevant. See, you are exercising the precise point. Shazia, 1 minute. Shazia, 1 minute. Shazia, 1 minute. Shazia, 1 minute. 1 minute.
You don't have a legal point. No, you don't have a legal point. You don't have an ethical point. You don't have a logical point. You're all over the place. I don't know what you're saying. You have no idea.
You have
Doklam,
taken the satellite
Galwan, Arunachal, this thing about 2,000 square kilometers of territory being taken. Where does Rahul Gandhi get that from? And why post it on media? I'm only saying what the Supreme Court is asking. Do you have an answer for that? No, you don't have an answer. That's why you're all over the place.
Please speak up.
Okay, Harish, can I make a point? Harish, can I make a point to you? Harish. 1 minute. Shazia, can I ask him a question, please? Harish, don't run away from this. See, don't get worked up. First of all, now, therefore, listen to me. Therefore, listen to me. You are not. You don't have to behave like Rahul Gandhi.
We are not BJP.
You don't have to behave like Rahul Gandhi.
No. You give me a 1 minute uninterrupted.
I'm sure you are younger and more intelligent than Rahul Gandhi. Now, listen to me. Harish.
Come on, Arnab.
There's nothing to come on. I'm stating two facts. You are younger and more intelligent, hopefully, than Rahul Gandhi. I'm now more or less. It's all a question of relativity. I didn't say you're unintelligent. I said I'm sure you are more intelligent, which means that there's all a relative bar. It's like a pH scale. I'm not saying whether you're at 14 on the pH scale or 1. You could be anywhere. There's no comment. But listen to me now, nevertheless. See, I need to make my point to you. We need to talk. No, 1 minute. You got to respond to a question. You got to respond to a question. No, I am asking you something. I am asking
me to complete, and you will ask me.
I am only asking you something.
What kind of fair argument?
I am asking you something. Okay. Now my point here is this. See, these are serious matters. Okay, very serious matters. Now, there is an alternative. Rahul Gandhi can say, Rahul Gandhi's argument is, I'm a leader of the opposition, I'm raising a political point, and what would politics be if a leader of the opposition were not be allowed to make allegations? This is a fundamental point which Abhishek Manu Singhvi is saying. Okay. But you see, now you are getting into an area, one of national security. One of geopolitics. 1 minute. Now, see, there are some.
Where does the BJP
now I'll get impatient with you. I'll request you to let me complete my point. I request you to let me complete my point, Harish. Harish, now I heard you.
First answer your BJP MP, then come to Rahul Gandhi.
1 minute. See, Rahul has said, and I will continue to push the point. What has he said? He has said that 4,000 square kilometers of our territory has been taken over by the Chinese. In other words, he is saying that the Indian armed forces have suffered a huge reversal during the time of the Modi government. Now, therefore, the allegation per se is not just against Narendra Modi, the individual. It is against the Indian armed forces, which are sworn to protect the territorial integrity of the country. And he has gone and said that the Indian armed forces have failed to do so, thereby ceding a huge amount of land to the Chinese. Now, the Supreme Court is saying, what is the credible material on the basis of which you're saying it? So far, I haven't seen him quote a single source. Who would I believe as a source out here? I wouldn't believe the Chinese. My other concern is, Harish, that I want to be sure he has no agenda in this. if he is unnaturally close to the Chinese, in other words, if that agreement he has signed with the Chinese proscribes or prescribes a certain closeness between the Congress party and the CCP, then everything he says will be seen through that lens.
Arnab, I just want to say one thing here. I have a very small thing. A leader who undermines the army, a leader who questions our own territorial integrity, and a leader who glorifies the enemy narrative. Should we have him as a leader of opposition in the Indian Parliament? I have a very simple question. And this is what Rahul Gandhi has been doing throughout. It's a very basic and a simple question. Rahul Gandhi has no...
Okay, Harish, countering. Harish is countering. Yes, Harish.
No, this is a geopolitical mishap by the Modi government. That is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi is stating.
No, but then you have to state some facts to back it up. No, Patabi.
No, let me
You can't use the word mishap unless you have facts. Quote me one source.
Let me put it across.
Quote me one credible source.
Why can't you put the Galwan Valley? Why can't you put, how come LAC?
You want to go for a picnic to the Galwan Valley.
How come a patrolling rights of LAC has been lost in during the after Galwan Valley by this
but how do you know it's been lost?
And BJP MP
Galwan Valley skirmish is part the Galwan one way. Harish, now don't be repetitive. The Galwan Valley skirmish is a well-known fact. We all know it. It's been acknowledged. Nobody's denied it. But we also know that a number of...
Where does the Chinese made the infrastructure? Mr. Arnab, where does the Chinese make
the
infrastructure?
If the Chinese were to be allowed to make their infrastructure, Indian soldiers would not be martyred. Don't you dare run down. Don't you dare run down the Indian soldiers. Patabi. One last turn to Patabi.
Yeah, Harish, the Supreme Court today asked one simple question. What evidence does Rahul Gandhi has to say that 2,000 square kilometers of Indian territory had been occupied? I ask the same question to you who is defending Rahul Gandhi. What evidence do you have? Today you are on the national television. Please enlighten the citizens of this country today. What evidence do you have? You are blindly supporting Rahul Gandhi without having any evidence. You make such baseless comments and people like us should remain quiet.
It is not baseless. With due respect to the apex court, the BJP MP of Arunachal Pradesh have stated categorically making sure that 50 to 60 kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh...
That's all the time I have tonight.
Whom you want?
I think the Congress party, if it wants to question the Supreme Court, should have the courage to do so in the Supreme Court. And if it can't, it shouldn't try to get away with a private apology this time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a newsy start to the week. See you tomorrow, sharp at 8. And then at 9. Good night and goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School, Bengaluru.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा आरती और मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। मसाला
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Republic TV and R4 Sports, they are trying to do something big in sports. They are dreaming something big. They are trying to take out all the untold stories from the athletes, from the academies, and from other sports stakeholders. And I guess this should be there in the national stage. The R4 Sports and Republic TV. Good luck.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
The Indian economy has been the fastest growing G20 economy for 8 of the last 11 years. And those are the only 8 in the last.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप, MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Mujawar has been a part of the ATS team that investigated.
What are you trying to hide? Why did you not appear before the court during trial? Did you work to serve political agenda? Did you plant evidence to frame innocent? Mr. Parambir Singh, here is the Mr. Parambir Singh, and he is not responding any answer of my question.
Parambir Singh goes completely silent as Republic confronts him on the allegations that have been levelled by Sadhvi Pragya. Supreme Court questions Rahul Gandhi over comment on army, says if you are Indian, you wouldn't make such comments. A day after NCP-SCP leader Jitendra Avadh says Sanatan has ruined India, Kamal Hassan makes anti-Sanatan comment. And we're also going to be giving you details of Sanjay Kapoor death mystery that's deepened. His mother Rani Kapoor writes to UK authorities for probing the death.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, the classic Indie playbook of slandering Sanatan Dharma to stay relevant. But can these leaders like Jitendra Awad get away with this anymore? At 8:30 p.m. tonight, more visual clinchers on Operation Sindoor, the 20-second clip of a Jaish camp in ruins that no other network in the country has. And once again, fact-checked by the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, over his continuous false statements. Tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll tell you why Rahul Gandhi's policy is to lie 1,000 times to make it a truth. But first, ladies and gentlemen, how easily people slander Hinduism, how easily people slander Sanatan Dharma. Jitendra Awad calls Sanatan Dharma Vikruti. He says, and he's from the NCP, Sharad Pawar's party, not surprisingly. He says Sanatan Dharma has ruined India. He calls it a so-called Sanatan Dharma. He said Sanatan Dharma was against Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He says he's a follower of the Hindu Dharma, but not a follower of the Sanatan Dharma. In fact, in English translation, what he has said sounds worse. Ladies and gentlemen, would Jitendra Awad have used this language about any other religion? Not that I want him to. Not that I want him to, but would he have used such language about any other religion is a question we must ask, collectively ask. Kamal Hassan in Chennai says, education should be used to target Sanatan Dharma. So he makes education an antidote to Hinduism. For Sanatan Dharma is Hinduism. Hinduism, Hindutva, Hindu, Sanatan Dharma, all one and the same. There is no point in people like Kamal Hassan trying to draw a wedge between either when they don't have the depth to understand it. He says education is the only weapon that can break the chains of dictatorship and Sanatan. So he makes Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism an equivalent of an immoral dictatorship. Would he say that about the ISIS philosophy? No, he won't speak about the ISIS philosophy. He won't even speak about jihadi philosophy. He won't speak about the PFI philosophy. He will not speak about the Simi philosophy. He will not call the jihadi philosophy regressive. He will not even speak about the Taliban. If Sanatan is regressive, Kamal Hassan, is Taliban progressive? Are jihadis progressive? Is the ISIS philosophy progressive? And what is this about the kind of instances Jitendra Awad puts up? And you know, to everyone, including fellow Hindus, how many times have you been in a situation where someone points at you and says, do you support Godse? You are a believer in Godse's point of view, they say. And I would say to all Hindus, do not ever be on the back foot if someone throws that unfair question at you. Ask them in turn, what made you try to stigmatize my religion by faking and falsifying Godse as its ambassador, which he is not? If you have the ability, the courage, the depth, the interest, then go back into 4, 5 or more 1,000 years of history to understand the true spirit of Sanatan Dharma. But I am not using Osama to put anyone on the back foot. I am not using Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale to put anyone on the back foot. So, ladies and gentlemen, this irrational behavior where you cross the line has to stop. I know Hindus are patient, Hindus are progressive, and Hindus are rational, and Hindus are by nature non-violent. But Jitendra Awad and Kamal Hassan have crossed the line, which is why in a short and sharp debate, I will tear them apart intellectually this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
The anti-Sanatan lobby has struck again. A group of leaders who survive and thrive on spreading hate against a religion.
सनातन धर्माने भारताचं वाटोळं केलं. सनातन धर्म नावाचा धर्मच नव्हता. आम्ही हिंदू धर्माला मानणारे आहोत. ज्या सनातन धर्माने आमच्या शिवरायांना राज्याभिषेक नाकारला, ज्या सनातन धर्मियांनी आम्हाला आमच्या छत्रपती संभाजींना बदनाम करून टाकलं, त्यामुळे सनातन धर्म आणि हे सनातनी विकृत आहेत हे म्हणायला कोणीच घाबरलं नाही पाहिजे.
Sanatan Dharma has ruined India. Sanatan Dharma and its ideology are perverted. These are the words of a politician who has zero regrets.
I never knew there is a religion called as Sanatan Dharma. I believe I am a Hindu, a staunch Hindu. Because Hindu Dharma accepts everything that is logical. And please don't try to teach me of Hinduism.
When confronted on his divisive, shameful comments, he blocks and pushes the Republic mic.
सर सनातन पे जो आपने बयान दिया, क्या उसमें माफी मांगेंगे? सर माफी मांगेंगे? नहीं हम पूछ रहे हैं.
And he is not the only leader. Kamal Hassan is calling for the removal of Sanatan. He says education is a weapon against Sanatan Dharma.
தன்னை பிள்ளைகளுக்கு கல்வி கிடைக்காமல் செய்து விட்டது இந்த சட்டம். அகரம் நினைச்சா ஒண்ணும் விட முடியாது. அந்த சட்டத்தை மாற்றி எழுதக்கூடிய பலத்தை தருவது கல்விதான். அந்த கல்வி இந்த போரில் ஆயுதமின்றி நாட்டையே செதுக்க வல்லது. இது சர்வாதிகார சங்கிலிகளை, சனாதன சங்கிலிகளை எல்லாம் நொறுக்கி தள்ளக்கூடிய ஒரே ஆயுதம் இதுதான். இதை தவிர வேற எதையும் கையில் எடுக்காதீங்க.
The Hindu hate is being called out.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, इस बात को लेकर के वसुधैव कुटुंबकम मानने वाला यह सनातन धर्म है. इन धर्म में मानव सेवा सर्वोपरि कही गई है. क्या आपने इसका अध्ययन नहीं किया? कौन से विकृत शास्त्र का अध्ययन करके अब श्रावण मास में साधु संतों का करोड़ों उपवास तप करने वाले हिंदुओं की भावनाओं को आहत कर रहे हो?
He is uttering words which all will make DMK chief and the DMK functionaries happy. For that he want to insult the sentiments of the people who are following the Sanatan Dharma.
कांग्रेस की कोख में से जन्मे सभी राजनीतिक और राजनेता दल, यहाँ राजनेता, ये सारे के सारे अभी बौखलाए हुए हैं. लेकिन मैं एक बात स्पष्ट कर दूं, ये सनातन है, हिंदू है, हिंदुत्व है, भगवा है, ये उस हाथी की तरह है जो मदमस्त होकर चलता है, धर्म के मार्ग पर चलता है, सात्विक शक्तियों के साथ चलता है और पीछे भौंकने वाले भौंकते रहते हैं.
For political reasons, for appeasement or for vote bank, Sanatan and Hindus have become a soft target for these politicians. But for how long?
Shaina NC of the Shiv Sena and Shantanu Gupta, who's an author and an RSS voice tonight, are on the debate with Abdul Razak and Pula Rao. Now, Pula Rao, Kamal Hassan first. Kamal Hassan says that we must counter Sanatan Dharma with education. He says we must counter Sanatan Dharma with education. Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism, we must counter Hinduism with education. Which means Hinduism, if anyone follows it, that person is uneducated. And you need education to take away the taint of Hinduism. Now, hypothetical situation. What if someone were to say, what if Shantanu Gupta were to say that you need to be educated to be able to counter Islam? What if he were to say, hypothetically, that you need to be educated to counter the teachings of Islam? He would be sartan se juda by now. But you can say anything about Hinduism in this country. Anything. Shantanu, you have a free run to abuse Hinduism in this country, any which way, any style you use. What if he were to say that in a public gathering, he were to say, listen, You must be educated and use education to counter the dictatorship of Islam. What would the response be?
Should I start or?
Yes.
Well, I'm really surprised. You're enunciating a new doctrine. There is freedom here. You can talk. You can talk. Kamal Hassan, all he said was, get education. Education, once you're educated, he believes that it will counter Sanatan or whatever ideas. But it may also go the other way around. Education is not something that can be controlled. Are you telling me that in this vast country, you can't have more than one opinion?
No, you can, but you're not answering my question. I'm saying by the same logic, Pularao, by the same logic, let 1,000 flowers bloom would be the argument. If you so love the argument of Kamal Hassan and you feel he's in a democratic country exercising his democratic right, then does Shantanu Gupta or does Shaina NC have the right to say that you must use education to counter Islam and Islam is a dictatorship?
You see, you can counter anything which is against the Constitution.
What would the response be?
You can
don't stumble. Now answer the question now. Come on. You're hunting for words.
You can counter anything. You can counter You can educate people if an ideology.
So why doesn't he say, Abdul Razak, one minute, Abdul Razak, why does Kamal Hassan not say, you must use education to counter the jihadi thinking? Why not?
The reply, Arnab. You yourself gave the reply. If he says, he knows what will be the consequence. So let us not delve into it.
No, 1 minute. If he says he knows what will be the consequence. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. No, Razak, wait there. He says, Shaina, that if he were to use similar language about Islam, he knows what would be the consequence.
Yeah.
Did you see his words?
And look at the audacity of the man. No, 1 minute. Let me quote exactly what he said. He said, only a weapon capable of dismantling the shackles of dictatorship and Sanatan is education. I want to ask, is this the same Kamal Hassan who opposed the NEET in 2017? And look at the audacity of Jitendra Awad. He has said Sanatan Dharma is the perverted ideology distinct from Hindu Dharma and has been responsible for caste oppression and social exclusion. Arnab, how many of us have read history to know what actually Sanatan Dharma is? And he goes on, these urban Naxals like Jitendra Awad and Kamal Hassan, and I say with absolute responsibility, both are urban Naxals. He says that, denying Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj his coronation and defaming Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj and opposing social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, that is what Sanatan Dharma is. Now, how perverted is this ideology of his? I think that we need to unequivocally condemn, because in a country like ours, what are we demanding? We are demanding that if you hurt the sentiments of Hindus,
Madam, they are not
you must just apologize. This is the culture and heritage of
they are not talking about
heritage of our country, and those who speak against it are insulting.
Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? When it came to the Nupur Sharma, you were all sartan se juda.
Opportunism.
People of India need a fair investigating agencies so that the culprits of the blast in India are brought to justice.
1 minute. This is a serious matter. Don't try to deflect from it. There are people who are calling Hinduism perverted. There are some people who are saying we must educate ourselves to fight Hinduism. Education will free you of Hinduism. This is abuse. Shantanu.
See, Arnab, Hinduism is the irritation of the eye word over, right? So word over is a fight between Islam and Christianity. They are increasing their subscriber everywhere, right? They've converted the whole world into two religions, Christianity and Islam. In India, they come together and try to increase their subscriber base, right? When I say Hinduism, for me, they try to go into the semantics that the Hindutva is different, Hinduism is different, Sanatan is different, just to confuse people, right?
Correct.
For me, Hinduism is Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vishwamitra, Swami Vedvyasa, Swami Chanak, Swami Panini, Aryabhatta. They will not talk about it because they know agar kuch kar denge to we will see what we have done with Danish cartoons, what we have done with French cartoons, what we have done with Nupur Sharma, what we have done with Daniel Pearl, Kanhaiya Lal. वो 2-3 को डरा के रखेंगे, and that's their philosophy. बोलने ही मत दो, ज़्यादा बोलेंगे तो we will have some 2-3 mass kids. हम लोग किसी को बोल देंगे कि वो क्या हिंदुत्व है, क्या हिंदुइज्म है, क्या सनातन धर्म. And dare you speak. और उनके भी, if there any problem in Islam, Narendra Modi has to come and remove triple talaq. Narendra Modi has to come and clear Waqf board. They will not say anything.
You are not answering the
No, I'm addressing the question.
What exactly is the Hindu Dharma?
I am saying here today, I'm 1 minute, Atikur Rahman, there is China NC on the program. And there is a man called Jitendra Awad who does not even spare Hindu festivals. He said that Hanuman Jayanti and Ram Navami are all for riots only. What if someone were to say Muharram is for riots only? How would you react? Sartan se juda, you would start.
No, that's what the media channels are doing since the 90s.
No. You see, there is Kamal Hassan there. Do you see him there? Shaina.
What do you mean by breaking the chains of Sanatan?
There is Kamal Hassan in that image. Do you see Kamal Hassan in that image, Shaina?
Yeah.
But do you see Kamal Hassan in that image?
Yeah, absolutely.
Portrayed like a Hindu devout.
He's playing to the gallery. He is playing to the gallery. It's convenience, it's opportunism. You talk about breaking the chains of Sanatan and you criticize the traditional hierarchical aspects associated to Sanatan Dharma, which please let me finish my point. Whether it's Tamil Nadu or any other part of the country, upholding caste-based inequalities and then getting into controversy, sparking with critics, accusing them of, espousing the Sanatan Dharma, a religious concept and forms of oppression. I mean, this just can sound all very intellectual. It is nothing but pseudo-secular and pseudo-intellectual. That's why I call them urban naxals. You talk about non-violence, education, if it has to be used as a tool for knowledge, which is to unite people, then do the same in the madarsas as well. No, why are you only talking about Hindus? Why aren't you talking about Muslims or Christians or any other segment? You say that education is the reason for destabilizing and this dictatorial aspects which are only figments of his own imagination. And please, the less said, the better about Jitendra Awad. Jitendra Awad is a repeated offender. He has continued to do this. He has questioned the coronation of Chhatrapati Shivaji and Sambhaji Maharaj. And then he said that there are oppressors in the Sanatan Dharma against Jyotiba Phule. Where is this distorted history coming from? If you believe that you are here to unite people, talk about an agenda which is development prone. Don't try to divide people on the basis of their caste, creed, culture. And in Tamil Nadu, we have seen time and again. From 2017, Kamal Hassan has been playing this card, flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. He has no clarity of his own ideology or thought process. So, when he talks about fighting dictatorship, I think the dictatorship is in his mind. When he talks about fighting the right to caste hierarchies associated with the Sanatan Dharma does not do any of these equations that you are trying to divide people on. If at all it unites people.
One small word. You say they're playing to the galleries. Yes, they are. They're winning elections. People are playing to galleries on all sides. That's what politics is about. That's what politics discourse is about. Political discourse. You can't have one opinion, one hack
you don't compromise your ideology.
What are you trying to say? But nobody should have another opinion. They have an opinion.
When you go for a movie
I haven't seen your party or anyone countering that opinion. All you're saying is he's a repeat offender. Maybe. But what are you offering to counter him? Nothing. Hence, their
Look, what
argument
does knowledge
is going
and
on in a
education
vacuum.
do, sir?
There's
It
no argument.
empowers
And
society.
might I tell you,
Okay.
It has to change unjust
Okay,
laws.
China.
What does education do? 1 minute, Arnab. What does education and knowledge do? Education and knowledge work alone to empower society, to change unjust laws. And here you are talking about a majority opinion without education that leads you to your own figment of imagination saying there's dictatorship or there's defeat, there's contradiction here. I want to say, if you are breaking the chains of Sanatan, why are you constantly criticizing traditional aspects which are part of our own culture and associated to a progressive society that does away with inequalities? You have only chosen to sermonize.
I put this, Atik, I would like to, Atik, I can see that you're on the back foot. I can see that you're badly on back foot, but I want to give another logical point. See, another comment of this Kamal Hassan, he keeps up bringing Nathuram Godse, their favorite subject. They're obsessed. So he says, Free India's first terrorist was a Hindu. Now, would he say that Jinnah provoked Muslims to kill on direct action day, as he called? Would he say
so true.
Jinnah provoked Muslims to kill, Shantanu?
Good point.
He would not say that. He would say, no. There you don't identify Jinnah with religion in that context. Though he set up a religious state, which has now turned into a terrorist state.
Convenience.
My point being, I am not using Osama to put you on the back foot. Am I asking who the world's first terrorist was from which religion? Am I saying that because of what the Taliban has done with the Bamiyan, Buddha statues, that there should be a comment made on all Muslims?
Arnab, I would like to answer
No,
this.
Atik, listen, no. Why are you getting worked up? Am I using Bindranwale to put all Sikhs on the back foot?
Just read.
Don't try these stunts on me. Shantanu!
Banned terrorist groups in UN list. Just read the names of all banned terrorist groups in the UN list. The topic will be settled there. 99.9% are Islamic terrorist group there in the UN banned list. Not by India.
We'll stay with
Not
that.
by India. By the international committee,
we are going to that break.
all the biggest list of the terrorist groups are Islamic groups. So there is no question end there. What we have in the Sanatana Dharma, we have Rishi Charak, जिन्होंने हमें medicine दिया. We have Panini who gave us grammar. We have Aryabhatta who gave us a science. That's knowledge even Kamal Hassan should take. Kamal Hassan should learn.
Okay, 1 minute. I have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I have breaking news. Donald Trump is saying, I'm going to increase tariffs on India further. We move away from this to the breaking news story. We're going to stay with the political story, build a political panel very quickly. Drop debate number 2 tonight. And we are going straight into a breaking news mode for the next 30 minutes. Donald Trump on Truth Social has once again attacked India. He said, put this on the graphic plate, please. He said, India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchased, selling it to the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, this is interesting. He's going to increase. I mean, he's trying to put in a squeeze out here. I'll try to get some Russians on this, get our economic panelists on this debate. We're going to try and get immediate voices on this debate. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking here only on Republic. Trump says he's going to be increasing tariffs further on India. The point is further, on the breaking news grids, he's going to be substantially raising the tariff paid by India. He's used the word substantially. Underline, Trump says he's going to be substantially further raising the tariff to India. Now, so far he has put 25%, plus he's put a Russia oil business penalty of an undefined number, but which was assumed to be 10%. So we were assuming it'd be 25 plus 10%. But obviously, while the Indians are negotiating with him, he's trying to put the squeeze in. There must be some areas where we have not agreed with Trump, and therefore he's threatening further increase. Now, we don't know where that further increase is going to be. We don't know whether it's going to be 35% or 40% or 45% or even a 50% that Brazil has been made to go through. But this is a one-sided declaration of war. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump escalates the tariff war with India, breaking only a republic. Trump is escalating the tariff war with India. Trump escalates the tariff war with India. Trump says he's going to substantially increase tariffs on India. Trump puts out an aggressive post saying we're going to be further slapping more tariffs on India. And he's linking it to India's friendship and our business with the Russians. We have no response to Russia yet, but it's quite clear that we are caught in the middle of this Russia versus US trade battle, that we've become the linchpin of this battle. So it serves Trump both ways. He targets Russia and, of course, he squeezes India at a time when we were ahead of the other countries in terms of negotiating a tariff deal with America. And all of this is happening because there are reports that India is not giving in. And Narendra Modi has in fact emphasized on the need for Swadeshi or homegrown production. Narendra Modi at every point of time is talking about increasing homegrown production, focusing on the domestic market and using that to deleverage India from the United States of America. So this is massive. Trump has escalated the tariff war. Trump is getting ready to increase tariffs, and it's not specified a number. I'll be very curious to know what, after the second and unprovoked attack in a week, what is likely to follow, ladies and gentlemen. And Trump is saying that we're going to be really increasing the tariff. He's accusing India. Trump accuses India of funding the Russian war machine. Trump is doing this at a time when he is himself sending a person to negotiate with Russia. And we all know that he's sending someone to negotiate with Russia. He's sending, I think, Mr. Witkoff in the next week to negotiate with Russia. So he's opening up a line of conversation with Russia, increasing the threat and pressure on India, opening a line with Russia, and then saying, using his advisors to say that India and China are together raising the pressure, raising part of the machine that is supporting the Russian economy. Now, these are all last-minute gambits by Trump. He's not liking the noises coming from India, or rather, he's not liking the lack of a response from the Indian government, who we are just going about our business. How do you read this, Shawan? And let's get some more experts into this breaking news story. Shawan.
Well, in fact, two breaking news now coming in. One with regards to increasing the tariff. Remember, earlier it was about 25% and the 10% was largely as part of the BRICS nation. In fact, a response that came in from those who have been part of the negotiating team indicating that the talks are on. India is going to wait and watch. They're not going to respond at this point in time. Having said that, the negotiation was on. Right now, there was also a speculative report that was put out in the United States of America saying that India is no longer buying oil from Russia. That was dismissed. In fact, you've had the Indian Oil Corporation continuing with buying oil, simply stating the fact that this is part of our national interest. Having said that, as far as the negotiation is concerned, they're saying that they're going to wait and watch right now. This perhaps is the last attempt that Trump is basically now putting pressure perhaps on the negotiating team, particularly in areas of agriculture. Remember, where India has put its foot down, saying that there can be no negotiation, keeping in mind our own interests.
Okay, so Shawan, he's not specifying a number. He's just using the word substantial. We're going to be substantially increasing the tariff, but just leaving it there, very open-ended. But he's also got his own line open with the Russians because he's sending Witkoff, his envoy, to Russia to start a back-channel negotiation.
Well, in fact, this entire thing of negotiation with Russia at this point in time, there has been no response really coming in from Russia. In fact, a threat that was actually issued by the United States of America, particularly President Trump, saying that 2 nuclear submarines would be sent. In fact, you've had President Putin responding, saying that this is a bluff that has been called off, and the fact that this pressure that the West is essentially trying to put, particularly the United States of America, is no longer tenable to begin with. As far as India is concerned, India is saying that there is no clarity in terms of the number, the tariff that they're talking about. 25% was already there. 10% is part of what they had imposed on the BRIC nations. And as far as this additional thing is concerned, there is no numbers really coming in. So whether at all there is any intent behind it, that's not very clear. Having said that, the negotiation still continues.
The negotiation is there, and there is an American team which was supposed to come to India on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, around that time of this month. Is that still on, or the talks are not off, despite all the sledgehammer that he's carrying around, the tariff sledgehammer? The negotiations haven't really fallen through formally, have they? So the American teams are still coming. He's just sort of pushing hard ahead of that last round of negotiations.
Let's be very clear here, Arnab, because we have spoken to those who have been part of the negotiating team, in fact, the ministry concerned. And in fact, they have made it very clear that they are not going to make any response, because there were some talks going on that perhaps India will officially respond to these claims that have been made by the US president. But it turns out during the parliament session, an indication came in that there will be no response. As far as the negotiation team is concerned, the meetings are still on. There have been multiple levels of talks that have been going on. The bone of contention being certain sectors where United States of America wants an entry. India has essentially blocked that, and that happens to be one of the other reasons. There was also another report that came in from the United States of America, which was with regards to F-35. Responded extremely strongly to the Trump threat, has now essentially defended Russian oil trade. In fact, this is the first big statement coming in after the tariffs that have been imposed. The big takeaways, number one, with regards to those nations who have been criticizing India for importing Russian oil, this is what India has to say. The fact that even United States of America is essentially depending on imported items from Russia. Number one, this is what India has to say. India has been targeted by the United States and the European Union for importing oil from Russia after the commencement of the Ukraine conflict. The second is with regards to the fact that this import is with essentially to keep national interest in mind. Third, with regards to the European Union, clearly stating that European Union, from the time that the Russia-Ukraine war began, even the European Union were basically importing. As far as United States of America is concerned, this is what India has to say. United States is concerned, it continues to import from the Russian uranium for its nuclear industry, as well as for its EV industry. And once again, Modi government making it very clear that the targeting of India is unjustified and unreasonable. Two very strongly worded statements now coming in from India. Ministry of External Affairs putting out the first big statement here, calling this entire move of US President Donald Trump as completely unjustified and also unreasonable. Basing this entire thing is on the fact that the imports that are essentially taking place is to keep in mind national interest. We'll also try and go across to our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor, who is also joining us on this broadcast. Abhishek, the first